Hello. Hello, check.
Okay.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
What is a wave without the ocean? A beginning without an end? What is India without its culture and wisdom? It is truly an honor to stand before you today with hearts full of curiosity and minds open to wisdom. In a world overflowing with information, we often forget to pause, reflect, and ask ourselves, what more do we truly need to learn?
A very good morning to everyone here. I am Vignesh Aditya from First BBA Logistics.
And I am Vishesh Aditya from First BSc Biotechnology. We welcome you all to this insightful seminar where we not only learn but discover.
To open today's seminar with grace and direction, we are pleased to invite someone who has played a key role in shaping this event, the guiding force behind the Department of Languages.
We now invite Dr. Smita C.R. to deliver the welcome address. Ma'am, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Vignesh. Respected Principal, Dr. V. Vijay Kumar, our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Sripad H. Ghaligi, IQAC Coordinator Dr. A. Sharan, my dear colleagues, and all the distinguished participants. A very good morning to all of you. This is with immense pleasure I welcome you all to this one-day seminar on the theme Educating the Educator, Bhagavad Gita as a resource for inner development and leadership. This program is organized by the Center for Indian Knowledge System in collaboration with IQAC. Is a testament to our institution's commitment to nurturing holistic learning rooted in Indian philosophical wisdom. So first of all, I welcome our principal, Dr. V. Vijay Kumar, for the wholehearted support for the program. Welcome you, sir.
We now invite Dr. Smita ma'am to present the sapling to our esteemed principal, sir, Dr. Vijay Kumar, in recognition of his continued guidance and unwavering support.
Thank you, sir. Bhagavad Gita, a timeless spiritual text, is not merely a scripture but a leadership manual, a guide to personal mastery. We are truly honored to have with us Dr. Sripad H. Ghaligi, a distinguished academician and spiritual scholar from Aamrutha Darshanam, International Center for Spiritual Studies, Coimbatore, to lead today's discourse. I think his profound insights into the Gita will surely enlighten us. On behalf of whole NAC family, I welcome Dr. Sripad H. Ghaligi to this function and also thank for accepting our invitation. Thank you, sir.
We now request our principal, sir, Dr. Vijay Kumar, to present a sapling to our distinguished chief guest, Dr. Sripad H. Ghaligi, as a token of respect and gesture of gratitude.
Thank you, sir. I also welcome our IQAC coordinator, Dr. H, into the program. And I take this opportunity to welcome all my dear colleagues and all the distinguished participants who are present today. Once again, welcome and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Every institution is defined not by its structure, but by the strength of its leadership. And today we are privileged to hear from the very person who leads this institution with vision, integrity, and purpose. We now invite our respected principal, sir, Dr. Vijay Kumar, to deliver the presidential address. Sir, the stage is yours.
Very good morning. It's the second time good morning now. Thank you for all. So most respected guest of the second session for the today event. Even though it's one of the most important session today, organized by the Center for Indian Knowledge System. The most respected chief guest of the day, Dr. Sripad H, Ghaligi, Associate Professor and Chairperson, aamrutha Darshanam, International Center for Spiritual Studies, Coimbatore Campus, and Head of the Department of Languages and Director, Center for IKS, Dr. Smita CR, and IKC Coordinator is associating with this event, Dr. A. Serin, Deans, Head of the Departments, faculty members, and my dear students. The first session, I hope that you enjoyed very much like time management. So now the need of the hour for the students, because of we gave only 15 minutes break, but you have taken half an hour tea break. You lose near to 15 minutes golden hours in the second session, I hope so. But sir will not miss the opportunity. Sir may take more than 2 hours for delivering the content. So one of the need-based hour, there's a leadership. That's next important topic in this session is a leadership. If you are talking, if anybody talking from the management or delivering the content from the management, they deliver only related to the leadership's qualities and characters, what are the basic things they need to follow to lead the team or coordinate, or the motivation of the team members in that. But if you are associated with the some spiritual or the religion based or the some innovative knowledge based textbook or character, it may be impressed by you. It's one of the important book is a Bhagavad Gita. We must you already know the basic characters involved in the Bhagavad Gita. So how we can correlate with the Bhagavad Gita characters with the leadership? Then it will be very impressive for you. Sir will be very clearly explain how the characters, how the leadership is molded with the different aspects in Bhagavad Gita. Even it may be even in your point, it may be a story, or it may be some historical events, but you must learn the skills from the day. So the leadership skill is one of the most important for the PG students or the faculty members to lead the team, to coordinate the team. Today you can enjoy that in the second session, the sir will deliver about the leadership section. Welcome you, sir. On behalf of the NEHRU Arts and Science College, I express our heartfelt thanks to our chief guest for delivering this wonderful talk related to IKS. Thank you, sir. Welcome you all. Thank you.
We are deeply honored to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Sripad H, Ghaligi, a distinguished academic and scholar in the fields of yoga and Indian knowledge systems. He holds a PhD in yoga from Mysore University, along with an MSc in yoga and an MA in Sanskrit. His academic foundation is further enriched by extensive traditional training in Veda, Vedanta, and Yoga. Professionally, he serves as Associate Professor and Chairperson at Amrutha Darshanam International Center for Spiritual Studies, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. He has also held teaching positions at Jain University and Vyasa University, Bangalore. Dr. Ghaligi has conducted courses on the Yoga Sutras and allied subjects for foreign nationals and professionals, including scientists from the Ministry of Defense. As a research mentor, he has guided several PhD scholars in yoga, Sanskrit, and related disciplines. His research includes published work on topics such as yoga and personality development, stress management, and the relevance of the Bhagavad Gita to modern issues. He serves as an external examiner for undergraduate and postgraduate programs in yoga and spirituality, and is a reviewer for both the Journal of Applied Consciousness Studies and Yoga Mimamsa. Beyond academics, he has conducted workshops and seminars on yoga philosophy for institutions like Microsoft, Bayer, LRDE, and the Karnataka Forest Department, extending his impact into the realms of corporate and community wellness. A true ambassador of Indian wisdom, Dr. Ghaligi continues to bridge tradition and modern relevance, leaving a meaningful mark on both scholarly and public platforms. It is my absolute honor to invite Dr. Sripad H. Ghaligi to grace us with his wisdom and guidance.
Thank you. Thank you one and all for giving me an opportunity to share a few thoughts on the Bhagavad Gita, which is very much connected with our life. When I started preparing or thinking about this topic, I had teachers in my mind. So now I see that students are more. It's a positive sign. The reason is, whether students or teachers, both are learning. I hope you accept this fact. As far as learning is concerned, it's a lifelong process. After completion of UG or PG or PhD or even postdoc, never ever we can claim and say that I know everything. The reason is, it's a lifelong process. And this process starts when we are in the mother's womb, and it continues till we die. So that's why education is always said that it starts in the mother's womb, womb to tomb we say. So in this scenario, especially the subject like Bhagavad Gita, it is very important, which has originated in our country, to know about it. So, as far as this session is concerned, I would like to have, initially I will be giving some inputs. I will also be asking questions. Okay, so that you will not sleep and you will not allow me to sleep. Right? There are two ways of sleeping. One is act, right? Sometimes you may snore in the classroom, but your friend may say, oh, okay, wake up. The session is over. Now we have to go for a break. Isn't it? The other one is passive sleeping. What do you mean by passive sleeping? Passive sleeping means eyes are open, physically you are very much here, but the mind is elsewhere. Isn't it? So, first point which we should think is, learning is a lifelong process. Once you complete any course, once you complete any program, it is not the end of learning. Only thing is, you have got some inputs and then you have to proceed further. So that's why there is a wonderful saying. Some of you may be aware of this. The first I will quote the original, because being academician, it is very important to also to quote the originals and then proceed further. Otherwise what happens nowadays, because of this advent of AI tools, it is possible to distort anything and everything. Okay. It is useful, no doubt about it, but it all depends upon who is using it. Isn't it? So there is a beautiful saying which says, Acharyat padamadatte padam shishyaha swamedhaya padam sabrahmacharibhyaha padam kalakramenacha. In fact, I have included this in the coming slides, but still I thought it's a combination of teachers and students. I thought it is very important to begin the session with this quote. Acharya is a teacher. So this particular verse says that we get or we receive 25% from our teachers. Acharyat padamadatte padam shishyaha swamedhaya. It is not just sufficient if we listen to the lecture. The second part is also very important. After listening, padam shishyaha swamedha. Medha is intelligence. We have to apply our mind. Whatever teacher says, that is not sufficient. That is input. Of course, it's an input. We have to churn it. There are many things which would be conveyed by the teacher in the classroom, but many times we miss what the teacher has conveyed. And the most dangerous thing is when we misinterpret what the teacher is conveying or what the text or the textbook is conveying to us. So the second aspect is swamedha. We have to apply our brain. We have to apply our mind. And the third aspect is padam sabrahmacharibhyaha. So the 1/4 from the teacher we learn, 1/4 by applying our brain, our whatever the resources we have, and the third one is padam sabrahmacharibhyaha. So sabrahmachari means our fellow beings, our friends. It need not be only confined to friends. It can be parents, it can be teachers, it can be people who are younger than us. There are many things which we can learn from our youngsters. You may have your younger brother or younger sister. There are many things, provided you are a good student. Otherwise, even AA cannot teach us. Nobody can teach us. Even if the God incarnates and stands in front of us, he cannot teach us if we are not ready to learn. Right? So, padam sabrahmacharibhyaha. So, we learn 1/4 from the people around us. And the last 1/4, so 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. The last 1/4 is padam kalakramenacha. So, it is possible for us to learn the last portion only by experience. So, whatever we say, whatever we communicate, it is possible to master any skill, any learning only through experience. So that's why this is a wonderful saying which is taken from the Samskrita. Acharyat padamadatte padam shishyaha swamedhaya padam sabrahmacharibhyaha padam kalakramenacha. I hope all of you agree with this. Right. At any point of time, because madam told me that first let there be a presentation and then we have a discussion. Sometimes what happens, when we move on to the next slide, already the first slide is erased. Forget about holding all the things, okay, till the end of the session. So what I thought was, I am not in a hurry to complete all the slides. I am not in a hurry because it is such a vast subject. And we are not as sharp as Arjuna. So we will see. Because as we are having both the communities here, student community and teacher community, in fact it is very important. How was the teacher and how was the student from Bhagavad Gita perspective, and that then we will proceed further. So this session is not just educating the educator, because after few years you may be the teachers. You may not enter into the teaching profession, but you might have to teach your kids. your people around you, even once you enter the company, right? Learning will not stop. If you stop learning, you'll be out of the company or you'll be out of the institution, isn't it? So the first point is learning is a lifelong process. So now the area which we are going to focus is Bhagavad Gita and how it is a resource for inner development and leadership. Prior to this, there are certain points which we have to be very clear before proceeding further. Because when we are talking about Indian knowledge system, I hope some of you might had an introduction to Indian knowledge system. It is not just confined to some texts related to Gita or Upanishads and so on. In fact, there are 18 important branches of knowledge, 18 streams of knowledge, and there itself we have many subdivisions. I'm not going to those details. However, when we are talking about the Bhagavad Gita, this also comes under Indian knowledge system. Basically, when we focus on the Indian knowledge system, it is not about just conveying or transferring the information from one person to another person. Perhaps the systems are better than us, because if you want to transfer, it is so easy today, isn't it? If you want to transfer some information, just you can insert the pen drive, you can Google, you will get everything. And once you use the AI tools, you need not think also. If you just give a prompt, it will give you most of the things. Sometimes it may be wrong, because it has been fed by the human being. When the human being can do error, AI can also make errors, isn't it? Sometimes it may collapse. Human beings may proceed further. Imagine if the PPT is not working. Let's say I am fully dependent on PPT and PPT is not working. What is the next option I have? Whatever I have learned, if I have learned and if it is there in my mind, then only I can make a presentation. Otherwise, if there is no power or if something is not working, I cannot communicate. So basically, when we are talking about Indian knowledge system, it was transferring the knowledge from the teacher to the student, not depending upon any external means. It was fully based on the competency of the teacher and the competency of the students. Both are required. Are you following? So that's why it is always said, if you want to have a good teacher, you should be a good student. Right? So generally students complain, this teacher is not explaining properly, that teacher is not explaining properly, and so on. But never ever we introspect ourselves how far we are competent enough to understand what the teacher is conveying. On the other side, the teacher will be thinking the student. So when it comes to this transfer of knowledge, both should be active, point number one. Point number two, both should be interested. Otherwise, it will be a one-way traffic. Okay. So from this perspective, 2 points. The Bhagavad Gita is the central theme here. What it is, how it is, we'll try to explore. Okay. Prior to that, first we will start with, all of us are here in an institution. Whatever institution we are, it doesn't matter. But all of us are involved in the process of education. Am I right? Either we are teaching, either we are learning. So we are learning how to teach and so on. So all of us are learning. But the only difference is, students are also learning, teachers are also learning, but at different levels. Okay. Teacher may be visiting a library. Nowadays that is also not required. Even you can browse, you can download the books, whatever it is, whatever means it is, that doesn't matter. However, teachers are also learning, students are also learning, but at different levels. For instance, imagine you started learning language or science or mathematics in the primary school, right? And then high school also you have studied. Even PG you will be studying, even PhD you will be studying. Science, mathematics, whatever may be the subjects, you will be continuing your studies, but at a different level. The difference is in the thinking, the difference is in the perception, the difference is in how do you communicate, how far you understand, and finally, how far you can apply into life situations. That becomes more important, isn't it? Because once we look at the present scenario, there are many people who have not gone to college at all, but they are successful business people. They have not gone even to school. They are not studied, and sometimes they don't know even other languages. Nowadays, we feel very proud when we speak in English. If somebody is speaking in their mother tongue, they feel, sometimes they feel that they're incompetent. It's not so. So these are the thoughts sometimes which make us that, no, this is not my cup of tea, and so on. So that's why here we can see the best examples. So for example, first if we start with the Bhagavad Gita, it is also a learning process. Who is learning, that we will come later. Okay, fine. Being in this system, if I pose a question to you, what is the purpose of education and how is the present education system? What is the purpose of education? Can anyone answer this question? What is the purpose of education? Why we go to schools and colleges and all? Yeah.
For me, sir, education is a way to understand the world and find our role in this world and what we can do for it. But to me, it's like the primary motive of education. The secondary motive is livelihood or employment or anything like that, sir.
Okay. Good. Any other inputs? Yes, sir. Huh? Erase the ignorance. Yeah, very profound answer. First, yeah? Making them self-disciplined, yes. What about students? Students are keeping quiet. Why you are here? I mean, why you are in institution? What is the purpose of education in life? Have you ever thought about this? Sir, what silly question you are asking? We are here to get a degree. Yes. In fact, sir is mentioning about Swami Vivekananda. So education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. Sir, when education is a perfect manifestation of perfection already in man, then why we have to come to college and schools? That can happen even sitting at home, isn't it? So, whenever a statement is made, whether it is from the text or from any Mahatmas, the first thing is, we need to understand what it is and why it is. Nowadays, the tendency of questioning itself, we question, but sometimes we question not to understand. Many times we will be questioning to know how far the person has understood. So it is never ever we turn that light towards ours or turn that question towards ours. Why I am doing this? For instance, as a student community, if someone is wearing a torn jeans, okay, you will not question why he is wearing torn jeans. It is a fashion, isn't it? You will not question. If somebody is having a different hairstyle, then you immediately say, sir, creativity, isn't it? So it is his wish, what we can say. So these are some of the things which we have to think when we are thinking about the education also, isn't it? Why are we learning this? Or why are we learning that? We will not ask question. Because there will be an exam. So, sir, I have to pass the exam. Why you have to pass the exam? Sir, I will get the certificate. What will be doing with the certificate? Sir, I will get a job because of this. So, education has been pulled down to the level of getting a job. So, already I have mentioned, education for getting a job, for earning money, education need not be. Because sometimes what happens, you might have come across many such incidents. People who have completed PhD or postdoc, they will be working in a company who has not at all gone to school. And he will be running a software company. I hope. I am not going in detail and taking some examples just because all of you are aware of this and immediately we have to move to the next one. So that's why I want first you to think. So whatever I am doing, when I go to the next slide, if there are any questions, please ask. You are welcome to interrupt me in between. Because even if I complete 2 slides and if it has given some inputs to you to think, to apply in life, the purpose of the seminar or workshop is served. Otherwise, after completion, it is not about the completion of the slides or completion of the topic. It is about how far it has helped me to think in my life. This is very important. Okay. So when we talk about education, any other answer? What should be the purpose of education and is it being served? These are the 2 questions. Let me see. Quickly we'll go. Fine. So there are 2 types of education. Education for life and education for livelihood. Right. So now can you answer me, the education which we are getting today, It is serving the first purpose or the second purpose? Second purpose? Okay, okay. What is the impact of that? What is the impact of that? See, as a students, you are witnessing the things which are happening around us. For instance, if we take ourselves, when we compare ourselves with our ancestors, who are more educated? Who are more qualified? Yes or no? So you ask your grandparents or great grandparents if they are alive, what is their qualification? They may say, Yennada, school ille, enga pono. Like that they may answer, isn't it? Or they may say, up to 5th standard I studied, up to 10th standard I studied, or up to PUC I studied. I got a job and then I am doing this. So when we compare ourselves with our ancestors, we are more and more educated. Are we educated? Because then we should have solved the problems of the present society. More and more education means more and more capacity, more and more ability to solve the problems in the society. But is it happening? Is it happening? You have to answer me. If I am wrong, please raise your hand. And you have to defend yourself with evidences. Are you following? Because learning always happens when there is in the form of a discussion. Okay, so this was one of the hallmark of Indian knowledge system. What is that? There will always be a discussion. It's not a one-way traffic where the teacher will be there on the dais and will be communicating and the students will just be nodding their head. No, definitely not. If you go through the Indian knowledge system, what we call as Bharatiya Gnana Parampara, it is full of question and answers and discussions. Never ever there is an opportunity for you, okay, the teacher is telling you, nod your head. Definitely not. That we see in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, we will see that. So, point number 1. The education system which we are having today is focusing only on livelihood. For instance, let's say a student will join mechanical engineering. I am giving an example. Okay. After, let's say, completion of his course, if he doesn't get a job, then what he will do? He will shift, no, I will shift for banking, or I will write some exams, I will enter into railways, or he may do. He is a mechanical engineer, or he may end up with banking job. Right? Or he may think, okay, fine, now the software, it's a booming industry, why don't I shift there? Okay, fine, I will shift to AIE and other branches. What is happening here? So, you keep on shifting based on what? Based on your livelihood. So, never ever you have thought about the education is for life. Okay, the focus is on livelihood and not the focus is on life. What do you mean by that? Education for life simply means that, suppose, if something goes wrong in our life, do you have the capacity to manage it? Do we have the capacity to think? Do we have the capacity to accommodate and find the solutions for ourselves and for others? Are we doing something? Of course, we do for ourselves because it's we earn our bread and butter. That is not a big deal. Whatever you do, you can do that. You need not become a chartered accountant or doctor to make more money. Okay. You can be a good businessman and still earn money. So the present education system is not focusing on life, but only on the livelihood. So I have given one example here from the Mahabharata. As we are dealing with Bhagavad Gita, it's a part of Mahabharata. Okay. So what is Mahabharata? What is Bhagavad Gita? I will ask lot many questions to you, okay, over the period of time. But here I would like to point out one important thing. What is life? What is education for life? And what is education for livelihood? Suppose if we take this example of Krishna and Drona. Dronacharya was the teacher or the Acharya of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Okay. And who was Krishna? Krishna was also one of the characters in the Mahabharata who was very much related to both Pandavas and Kauravas. Okay, he was a relative, the other one was Acharya. So if we take Arjuna as an example, because throughout Bhagavad Gita we can see the discussion which happens between Krishna and Arjuna. Right. Now, to help you to get an idea, I hope you have some idea about Krishna and Arjuna, what happened. Okay, quickly I will go through it. Point number 1. This Bhagavad Gita or whatever discussions happened, it happened on the battlefield. Yes or no? Yes, point number 1. Krishna was not a sannyasi. Arjuna was not a sannyasi. They were not crossed 60 years or 70 years. Krishna was young, Arjuna was young, and the situation was the battlefield. Please try to understand this. So, Arjuna was on the battlefield, Krishna was on the battlefield, and there were series of questions which the Arjuna had in his mind. Whatever Dronacharya had taught to him, the skills, which was very important for a warrior, it did not help him. At a situation, a crisis, he could not take decision. And for Arjuna, it was not the first time he is waging the battle. Already he had participated in many battles, and this is one of them. Okay, now whatever was taught to him by his teachers or parents, that did not come to help him at this point of time. Because most of the times it was on the livelihood, or the skills which are very much required to that particular field. Now the crisis was a brave warrior, a brave archer who had mastered skills, especially the warfare. Now he had lot of questions in his mind, and the series of questions were asked by Arjuna to Krishna. Okay, now Krishna, being a best teacher and a manager and the counselor, he kept on listening to what Arjuna was telling to him. He did not interrupt. Okay, so he was kept on listening, and after certain point of time when Arjuna was exhausted, and when he expressed all the questions and doubts whatever he had, then Krishna started giving. It was not just a upadesha. Upadesha means you listen, I am telling you listen, I am telling you do this. This was not the relationship between Arjuna and Krishna. So in fact, after delivering the whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives an option to Arjuna. See, it is left to you now. I have communicated what has to be communicated. I have clarified your doubts. Now it is up to you to take the right decision at this point of time. So Krishna, what Arjuna did? So whatever confusions, whatever doubts he had, that was clarified by Krishna. And that is what we have Bhagavad Gita. So when we are talking about Bhagavad Gita, it is not just a spiritual text. Please understand this. It's not just a religious text. Please understand this. Okay. And this is a manual which is applicable to one and all, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, nationality and gender. The reason is Arjuna is representing the common man. Arjuna is representing all of us. Don't we have conflicts in life? Don't we have doubts? Don't we have questions? At each and every step we will be having questions or doubts. Isn't it? For example, at the student level, what are the doubts? Whether I have to take this course or that course. After completion of the course, when there are job offers, I am not getting a job. What should I do? If I get a job offer, what should I do? So there will be series of questions, there will be series of doubts, there will be series of challenges throughout our life. So Arjuna here is representing each one of us. And who is Krishna? Krishna is a wise teacher who actually, whatever he communicated in the Bhagavad Gita, he actually practiced it in his life. Only when we go through it, then only we will understand, because each incident is important. Sometimes when we talk about or hear about Mahabharata and Ramayana, generally we have this tendency, right? Oh, that is just a story. That happened long ago. That is just a story and so on. And we forget. I will give a simple example. See, most of you will be very fond of watching movies, isn't it? Have you ever asked a question, is this reality? Never we ask questions, isn't it? If it is a movie, we watch movie so enthusiastically without any questions in our mind, isn't it? But when it comes to learning, we stop. Right. So Mahabharata, and I'm not dealing with the historical perspective. Let us try to understand from psychological perspective and management perspective of this text, which is called as Bhagavad Gita. Point number one, Bhagavad Gita is for all. Even if you don't believe in God, that doesn't matter, because Krishna is not just giving a sermon, you do this or do that. He is giving the core principles of life which is applicable to one and all. I will give a simple example. Suppose if it is a physics manual, it is applicable only in the physics lab. It is not applicable in the chemistry lab, isn't it? If you are having a chemistry manual, it is confined to only chemistry lab. Suppose if it is first year, it is not applicable for second year. If it is second year, it is not applicable for third year. Isn't it? But here we have a manual which is applicable throughout our life, whatever may be our profession, whatever may be our profession, or whatever may be our background, it doesn't matter. So it is a universal text. Fine. Then, so this is what is missing today. Okay, fine. So when we talk about the focus of the present education system, it is focused only on material success. Money, power, position, you go to any field, isn't it? For instance, nowadays we have what is called as ethical hacking. Can hacking be ethical? Is a big question. So wherever you go, the ethics should be introduced. We have to say ethics in research. What do you mean by that? Education is a process of integrating and imbibing values into our life. That is not happening. So then what we have to include is something like an extra, right? So that goes, oh, we introduce value education. Okay, fine. For what? The purpose of education itself is what? For our life, which is most important than any other thing. Except that we are doing everything else. Except human being, we are focusing on everything else. Isn't it? For example, if you buy a new mobile, imagine you buy a new mobile, iPhone, or you mobile Apple laptop, you will take care so much. Isn't it? You take care of that. Similarly, are you taking care of yourself? What do you mean by that? Sir, I eat, I sleep, I go to college. What else? What should I do? So is that the purpose of life? So when it comes to Krishna, the Arjuna's question was whether to fight or not. Okay. But what Krishna did, he did not just stop at giving a question, yes or no. It was not a MCQ. Should I fight? Yes. Should I fight? No. That was not the answer given by Krishna. He made Arjuna understand what is his role, why he is on the battlefield, what has happened earlier, what is the course of plan he has to take now. All these were clarified on the battlefield. And then there will be a lot of questions. Logical mind starts working. Sir, how it is possible, sir? Is it possible on the battlefield to deliver such a long sermon? Isn't it? Imagine you are entering an examination hall and teachers, parents, all of them will come here. I will teach you how to be calm. I will teach you how to score good marks in the exam. Will you listen to them? Already you are on the hot seat, isn't it? You are entering the hall and the heartbeat increases for some of them. For some of them nothing will happen because they are not at all bothered about the exam. Isn't it? Fine. So here when it comes to Arjuna and Krishna, what happened? There were a series of doubts. And whatever points were communicated to Arjuna, he did not just nod his head. He kept on asking questions till all his doubts are clarified. And at the end, because there are 18 chapters in the Bhagavad Gita, and at the end he says, Karishye vachanam tava. Krishna had said, Yathechasi tathakuru, whatever you want, it is left to you now. You take a decision. He did not force. But Arjuna, being an ardent student, ardent disciple, because it was proved throughout his life, he was an ardent student. Okay, when there were questions, like when Dronacharya was asking him, so Pandavas and Kauravas, both of them were the students of Dronacharya, right? So Dronacharya, I think he was the first tuition master. Okay, the reason is, earlier in our Indian tradition, students used to go to the teacher and learn from them in a Gurukula system. But here for the first time, Acharya came to the kingdom and teaching the Pandavas and the Kauravas, and he was caught there. Caught in the sense, he was caught in the trap. So he had to take the side of the Kauravas, especially during Mahabharata war. Okay, so when we are looking at these texts, Mahabharata, Ramayana, don't just look at the stories. Most of us may be aware of the stories, but what led to that incident? What is the outcome of that? And what we can learn from those stories or incidents is much more important than the storyline itself. Unfortunately, what is happening? We are stuck up with the stories. We are stuck up with the characters. We are not going very deep into it. We are very superficial. Because all these texts, when we are talking about IKS, it's very deep. Unless you go very deep, it's not possible to understand the depth and the dimensions of any of these knowledge systems. Okay, fine. So then, FAQs on Bhagavad Gita. So suppose if I ask a question to you, what is Bhagavad Gita? What is our answer? Quickly. whatever you know, I will summarize now. That is not an issue. Even if it is wrong, it's fine. Okay, when you are listening for the first time, it doesn't matter. What comes to your mind? Suppose if I pose a question to you, what is college? What comes to your mind? Sir, college means there will be a principal, there are teachers, it is a center. So there should be a seminar hall, there should be canteen, there should be that, this, that, all the facilities, system, all this come into your mind, right? When I pose the same question, what is Bhagavad Gita? What comes to your mind? Huh? Word of quote. Okay, then. Already I already gave the answer. I am trying to get the answer from you so that I will get the feedback from you whether you are with me or not. Yes.
Sir, a book of guidance.
Book of guidance for whom? For whom? For all. Sir, I am a doctor, sir. How Bhagavad Gita can teach us? Yes, there are lessons. Okay. So that's why, even though the question was only one, whether to fight or not, through Arjuna, he taught to the whole world how we should be. So that's why we are focusing on this text. Okay, fine. There is a question? Okay. Pause, right. Oh, that side. Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, we will take what Swami Vivekananda said, then we will proceed further. So we want that education by which character is formed. Just analyze whether we are aligned with these things or not. We want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, intellect is expanded, and one can stand on one's own feet. So what is being achieved today? And second quote also will take, we must have a life building, man making, character making, assimilation of ideas. If this is the statement, whosoever it is by Swami Vivekananda, no doubt. What is being achieved today? As a students, what is being achieved today? Character is formed. For example, if you look at the crimes which are happening, especially cyber crimes, who are involved in cyber crimes? A farmer is easy involved in a cyber crime? Farmer? A sweeper? A cobbler? Who is he? Highly educated. Yes or no? He will involve in cyber crime. Isn't it? Okay. So, what is missing? What is missing? Character is formed. Strength of mind is increased. If students are not getting, so generally it may happen with anyone. If there is no salary hike, there are people who will commit suicide. Husband and wife both will be working. Okay, both will be software engineers who will be earning in lakhs per month, but they cannot stay together. Both are highly educated. Isn't it? Brothers and sisters, they cannot stay together. Highly educated. Are you following? Is this happening or not? I am not exaggerating. So, there are many factors which are missing. Character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. Only the last part is taken care of. Standing on one's own feet. I mean, financially you are independent. And that financial independence is leading to many other problems. Are you following? We have to be independent, no doubt about it. But that is not the end of life. So when you have a course, when you have completed something, that is only a means. That cannot be the end. Isn't it? For example, if you take any of the topmost people, topmost businessmen, for example, Elon Musk, you take his example. You ask a series of questions, are you happy? You ask any multimillionaires, are you happy? What will be the answer? What will be the answer? Have you ever heard their interviews? It may be scientists, topmost scientists. For example, I saw a very good quote in Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, which was there in the boardroom. Okay. So have you ever gone through the incidents of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was the former president of our country? We feel, sir, he was a president. I know I am not going to become a president. Why should I think about him? Right. He was a scientist. Anyhow, I'm an art student. How he is applicable to me? Isn't it? So like this we start thinking, because the today's education is so fragmented, there is no holistic vision at all. There is no physical, psychological, mental, emotional, spiritual development. Only intellectual development is happening. I hope all of you agree with this fact. It is something like, imagine we have only head, no limbs. Can we be happy? Definitely not, because immediately we will observe that there is some lacuna, some drawback. But what we are not observing is, when we talk about the education, it should help us physical, mental, moral, spiritual, intellectual dimensions. If it is not, then we will be creating problems. That is what is happening today. I hope all of you agree with this fact. Okay. So the most educated people are involved in many crimes today, because there are many aspects which are missing. Life building, man making, character making, assimilation of ideas. We are assimilating a lot of ideas. Nowadays, information is not an issue. Even without a teacher, you can get a lot of information. Okay, but what is the right information? What are you going to do with that? For that purpose, at least, you have to be associated with the people who have experience. Because whenever I conduct a session, generally the students will be asking a lot of questions. So teacher is not required, why guru is required? I can do on my own. And if I have a question, I just type and the Google will give the answer. Okay, fine. In that sense, we should also solve all the problems right today. If the Google is giving all the answers, or AI is giving all the answers, we should have solved. You take any field. For example, if you take the field of healthcare, right? Doctors are increasing, yes or no? Specialization is increasing. Diagnostic labs are increasing. Is there any improvement in health? When we compare our health with our ancestor, they are far, far better. We cannot even stand properly. Okay. We cannot walk for 4 or 5 kilometers, whereas our grandparents, they only walked. They rarely used autos or buses, only for traveling for a long distance. Isn't it? So these aspects are missing. The reason is, we have shifted from education for life to education for livelihood. We have confined education. We have made it so narrow, we cannot just think about other aspects of life. So now gradually we are shifting. What is that? Multidisciplinary research. Isn't it? Because now gradually we are understanding that we cannot be like a frog in a well. We need to expand. And fortunately that is being expanded now, when we have many problems. So the present trend is where we create problems, we invite problems, and then we try to find out the solution for the problems which we ourselves have created. This is modern trend. Okay, when we look at the Bhagavad Gita, see, he had a problem, Arjuna had a problem, but immediately he had that competency or ability to surrender to the teacher and get the right information. But today, unfortunately, we are not having this. We are not ready to learn most of the time because of that ego, because of that egotism. It is obscuring our learning. So this is what actually, when we talk about the Bhagavad Gita, it starts from self-management. Whatever we want to manage in life, the first thing is managing ourselves. That's what the Bhagavad Gita teaches us. Leadership comes later. Okay, there are two types of leaders. One who are born leaders and evolved leaders. Okay, for example, born leaders like Krishna, he is a born leader. Evolved leader, for example, if you take Arjuna, okay, he evolved, he had questions, but he did not stop learning at any point of time. Whenever he had doubts, for that matter, for example, Krishna gave equal opportunities for Pandavas and the Kauravas. In fact, I can narrate n number of incidents from the Mahabharata here. Pandavas and Kauravas had equal opportunity because Krishna was related to both of them equally. But it was the Pandavas who accepted the guidance of Krishna and who were ready to apply in their life. Because of that, they were able to succeed in their life. Whereas Kauravas, they were also listening to the same teacher. No change. Why? Because they were not ready to learn. They did not have that inquisitiveness to learn. That is the difference. So here itself we can make out who is a good student and who is a student with perversion. Because same Krishna was teaching to both, isn't it? Fine. So this is, I'm quoting again from the Gita, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramah vidyate tatsvayam yoga samsiddha kalena atmani vindati. Forget about the verse. We will take the concept and try to understand. Okay. In this world, there is nothing as purifying as knowledge. Would you accept this statement? What do you mean by purifying? Cleansing what? Suppose if there is a distilled water, you say, so this is pure water. Okay. Similarly, what is the purpose of knowledge? What it will purify? Yes. The purpose of knowledge is to purify ourselves, basically our mind. Because mind is a very important instrument which we are connected with everything else in this world. Are you following? Because even you may be sitting here staring at the teacher, but if mind is not connected, you cannot get anything. The transfer cannot happen. The transfer of ideas cannot happen. Are you following? So that's why he says, Nahi jnanena sadasham pavitramaya vidyate. Then, one who has attained the purity of mind through prolonged practice of yoga receives such knowledge. For example, terrorist also has knowledge, right? For instance, recently we had attack on Pahalgam. There were terrorists who killed innocent people who were there for the purpose of sightseeing. Am I right? They were on tour. They were killed. What sort of knowledge the terrorists had? They also had knowledge, right? They also had knowledge of what? Geography. Where we will get the people. How to attack them. How to kill them. This is also knowledge. Okay. And later on, we also had armed forces who gave a befitting reply to the terrorists. That was Operation Sindhur. Am I right? Knowledge is involved. What is the difference between the knowledge which the terrorist had and the knowledge which the soldiers had? What is the difference? So this is a very recent incident, right? What is the difference? Krishna is telling here, there is nothing as purifying as knowledge. Both had knowledge. What is the difference between them? Both are involved in some activity, right? If you look at as an activity, both are involved in activity and both should have knowledge. Or if we go back, WTC, World Trade Center, was destroyed. How? How it was destroyed? WTC. I hope all of you were born, especially the students were born. WTC in USA, it was brought down. It was destroyed. How? A plane crashed into this. Who were there? They also had knowledge how to fly the aeroplane. And incidentally, a few weeks or a few months back, there was an accident which took place in Ahmedabad. Okay. So where at the last moment he said Mayday. I mean, it got crashed. Fine. See, everywhere incidents are happening. What is the difference? Yes. 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 I think teachers are more enthusiastic than the students. Right. One is a constructive and the destructive purpose. It depends on whom. I will give a simple example to make you understand. You all of you are having mobile. Okay. Suppose if I ask a question to you, especially the students who are sitting here, what is the percentage of time you devote for mobile? Watching mobile. Answer. 24 hours. Okay, fine. 24 hours. Okay, fine. Now the next question. Students are using mobile for 24 hours. I say good. Okay. Next question. What is the purpose you are using mobile? Are you downloading the books? Are you watching some lectures? Okay. Next question comes. You are also involved in knowledge. Acquiring knowledge. Yes or no? Yes. Now, using mobile is good or bad? Suppose if I pose a question to you, using mobile, good or bad? Having internet, good or bad? What will be your answer? It depends upon the user. Are you following? It depends upon the user, it depends upon the usage. We cannot say mobile is harmful. Okay, once you enter the college, you are not allowed to. That rule will come when students are using it for a wrong purpose. Are you following? That's why Krishna says, in this world there is nothing as purifying as knowledge, but the thing is how you are using that knowledge. Nowadays, knowledge explosion is happening. You can download anything and everything. But how you are using, for that, training is required, and that's what Krishna gave to Arjuna. Are you following? Arjuna was a best student. Please understand, Arjuna was not an ordinary student. He was the best of the best students. No doubt about it. Okay. But still he had doubts. Just imagine what is our condition. We have so many doubts, so many questions. Okay. The first step would be exploring, connecting with the people around us. Never ever jump to a conclusion that the AI tools is better than the teacher, because AI can communicate knowledge, information to you, but if you require transformation, it is possible only with the people who are very much living with you. Parents can teach you much better about life. Teachers can teach you much better about life. So that's what happened in the Gita. Okay, fine. There are a lot many things to say. If you have any specific questions, you can ask. Because still we are in the introduction. Because introduction itself will take a lot of time. Unless we prepare the context, it's not possible to get anything. Are you following? If I just start chanting the shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita, if I don't explain the context, then you will not get anything out of it. I will skip this. This is also too technical, and only thing is, one thing I would like to highlight here, Aparavidya and Paravidya, these two are technical terms. It's nothing but the knowledge which will be useful for our day-to-day life. All that comes under Aparavidya. Arjuna had already mastered that. The next is Paravidya, the highest knowledge, which Arjuna was lacking. Okay. So there, actually, Krishna helped him. So from there onwards, so that's why he touched all aspects of life. When it comes to Bhagavad Gita, we have 18 chapters. Yoga is not just practicing asanas or pranayama. Yoga is not just sitting in meditation. Yoga is not renouncing everything and going to Himalayas. It is not about killing people. It is not about earning people. It is a process of evolving ourselves. So it's a process of personality development. So when we say personality, it should always start from the self. That is what is taught in the Bhagavad Gita. He starts from very superficial, then he goes to subtle, and sometimes he starts with very subtle and then comes back to very superficial things. So it's a combination of both subtle and wider and deeper. Both are there in the Bhagavad Gita. So 18 chapters explains the 18 dimensions of our life. Because when we say life, so we have wide spectrum of experiences. Right? Yes or no? So as we grow, our experiences will change. But we should cope up with the situations which we come across. That's what we can see in the Gita. I will skip all these things. Directly I will So here, where did the Bhagavad Gita took place? Battlefield. Sir, anyhow we are not soldiers. We are not going to participate in war. Why you are giving this example is the first question which may come to our mind. See, we may not physically participate in the war, but there are conflicts within our mind. Yes or no? For instance, parents will be telling you should do this, and your mind says, no, I am not interested in this. There is a difference. There is a conflict. Teachers will suggest, this is the way you have to do, but there is a conflict in your mind, whether I have to obey the first teacher or the second teacher. There is a conflict in the mind. Throughout our life, there will be conflicts. Throughout our life, there will be stress. Okay, but how to resolve matters a lot, isn't it? How we are related. So here, the battlefield, it was not just a physical war, it was also a conflict which happened within us. How to resolve is the next question. For that, in fact, we have to study whole Bhagavad Gita. Okay, this is just an introduction, so I am dealing it with superficially. So battlefield is within us, point number 1. For instance, positive and negative emotions which we are having in our mind. Always there will be a thing, right? For instance, doctor will be telling you, so this is good for your health. Do you think we will follow that? For instance, getting up early in the morning is good for health. Even papers have been published that it is good for health. Going for a walk is good for health. Practicing yoga asanas and pranayama is good for health. Already there are so many papers which have been published. Do you think we are doing it, we are following it? We are not following it. Why we are not following it? Can you give me an answer for this? Why we are not following? Healthy food habits. Having as simple as this. Having food at proper time. Sleeping at proper time. Nowadays, students are extending their night. Extending in the sense, they will not switch off the mobile till 1 or 2 a.m. I don't know about you. It varies from student to student in terms of percentage. So as simple as this, if you are able to maintain the peace of mind without mobile for 1 hour, that is an achievement today. Are you following? So, when we look at the Bhagavad Gita, he provides short-term goals, long-term goals, short-term plans, long-term plans. All these are hidden in the Bhagavad Gita. Are you following? So, maybe it is very difficult to complete everything, but what I would say, point number 1, Bhagavad Gita is a text which is very essential, which starts with self-management. The reason is, unless we manage ourselves, we cannot manage anything else in our life. Point number 1. Point number 2, it is a test. Each chapter focuses on various aspects of life. Okay, so whatever may be, you may, that's why I said you may be a atheist, but still the principle are applicable. I will give a simple example. Mobile. Okay, I come back to the same example. Mobile. Who requires mobile? Everyone requires mobile, but purpose is different. Are you following? So similarly, Bhagavad Gita, whether you are a teacher or a student or a manager, everyone requires this Bhagavad Gita. So that's why Krishna communicated all the core principles of life in the Bhagavad Gita as well as the leadership qualities. Because leadership is something like, it comes over a period of time. It's something like getting promoted. Like, so from first standard you come to second standard, then third standard, and gradually you evolve. Okay, but there are very few who can master things very quickly. As common people, let us try to focus on the principles of the Gita, what it was communicated on the battlefield, because we are also facing many battles within our mind, and let that guide us. So if there are any questions you can ask, because I know that it is very difficult to sit and listen. Isn't it? Yes or no? Very difficult. And in fact, Arjuna sat, and when you look at anyone, any of the great Pandavas, they were sitting, even when they were on exile. When they were on exile, they did not keep quiet. They kept on learning. That is the real quality of a student, a real student. Even though they were great kings, they were princes, they were great kings, they did not stop learning. Even though they were on exile, they kept on learning from various sages when they were traveling. So this is what the life lesson which we get from the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, fine. Maybe 1 or 2 questions we can take. I don't have any problem. Yes, if there are any questions, you may please ask. Whatever it is which is connected with this topic. Some of you may be listening for the first time, right? So my suggestion is, please study this not as a spiritual, just as a spiritual text. Even if you are not spiritual, that doesn't matter, because the principles are very important for life.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Who won the battle?
Huh?
Who won the battle? Either the Pandavas or the Kauravas?
Won the battle.
Won.
Own or won?
Won.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. See, when we are talking about the battle of Mahabharata, there are many incidents which led to Mahabharata war. right? You want, yeah, fine. So there are many incidents which led to Mahabharata war. Okay, basically I will explain in terms of education itself. I think it will be very clear. Okay, we were talking about the goal of education, right? Unfortunately, what is happening today, there are 4 major goals of our life as per Indian knowledge system. Okay, one is called as dharma, second is called as artha, third one is called as kama, the fourth one is called as moksha. All these are terminologies which are used because there are terminologies in science, there are terminologies in mathematics or any branch of psychology, whatever you take, there are terminologies. I would like to explain in a very simple term. So there are 4 goals of life, whatever goals you have. Let's say you want to make money, that comes under artha. Let's say you want to fulfill a legitimate desire, that comes under kama. Okay. Nowadays what is happening, the focus is only on artha and kama. Artha refers to resources, artha refers to wealth, artha refers to all sort of resources. Kama refers to desire. What is happening today, our education system is, and we as being educated, we are focusing only on 2 goals of life. What is that? Fulfilling our desires at any cost, using all the resources. And because of this only, it is leading to lot many problems all over the, for example, you take pollution. Nowadays new pollution is e-pollution. We shifted from papers to having all the instruments, gadgets. Now it is e-pollution. Where will you dump that waste? Then we think about not only about destroying the earth, then we'll go to space, we'll also destroy space. Are you following? When the goals of life are not clear, we keep on doing something immediately, immediate requirement we will do. For example, food is required, we are happy, but we are not understanding it is not just for the body, it is also for the mind. Okay, so that's why as far as the education is concerned, we are focusing only on artha and kama, the 2 goals of life, sidelining and ignoring the dharma and moksha. This requires lot of explanation. Okay, however, even when we look at the Mahabharata, for example, if we take Duryodhana, Duryodhana was very powerful. Okay, how? He was very powerful. For that matter, even if we take Ravana, okay, he was also very powerful, very highly knowledgeable, unparalleled. Compared to Rama, he had more knowledge. But what is the use? What is the outcome is very important, isn't it? After getting acquiring all the skills, if you join a terrorist group, what is the use of that knowledge? Instead of that, it is better to be a small farmer in a small village who will be actually giving food to the nation. At least he will be giving food for his neighbors. It is better to be a farmer than to become a software and join some terrorist group. Okay, so when the goal changes, so Duryodhana's primary intention was to ascend the throne at any cost. Whatever is happening today, for example, if you look at the politicians, okay, they are ready to go to any extent of dividing people based on caste, creed, religion, language, all barriers they will put. Why? What is the reason for that? They have hidden agendas. But are you educated enough to understand they are having hidden agenda and they are making use of you? And education should help you to have this attitude towards anything, and that is not having today. That is not happening today. So Duryodhana had intentions, his intentions were wrong, and he made use of his own teachers for his bad intention. And he made use of everything, whatever, as politicians are using today, people for fulfilling their hidden agendas, the same thing was done by them. So that's why Krishna he supported dharma. Because he gave, in fact, there are many incidents. One incident, maybe if time permits, I can narrate this incident, if you are interested. Okay. See, this is a very interesting incident where Duryodhana and Arjuna, both of them approached Krishna. Okay. When both of them approached Krishna, Krishna was taking rest. He was in his room. Okay. Then what happened? Duryodhana went to him. I am not narrating the whole story. Duryodhana went to him. He saw that Krishna was sleeping. He just sat near his head. There was a chair, he sat near there. Same time, after a few minutes, Arjuna also entered to seek help from Krishna. Okay. But he stood at the feet. Okay. Now what happened? As Krishna got up, he saw Arjuna first. Because generally when we get up, we will not see like this, isn't it? When we open our eyes, some objects will be seen. He saw Arjuna. Then he started having discussion. Hi Arjuna, how are you? And so on. He started discussion. Duryodhana was sitting there. No, I came first. So you have to attend me. Krishna said, I saw Arjuna first. First I will attend him. Okay. Now who is right, who is wrong? What is Duryodhana's argument? I came first. You have to attend me. What is Krishna's argument? See, I saw him first. Both of them have come, right? Both of them have. Krishna didn't have any personal gains. Whether it comes, Duryodhana comes, Arjuna, he did not have any personal gain. So, Krishna was also a very strategic leader. Okay. Do you know what he did say? No, I will first attend to Arjuna. And before that, unbiased, he was not partial. He first openly declared how he is going to help. And he left the decision. So he said, see, I will be on one side, Krishna will be on one side, my army will be on the other side. Point number one. These are terms and conditions before they would choose. Are you following? It is not that after choosing he said the conditions. He said, I will be on one side, on the other side, his army, the whole will be on the other side. Point number one. Condition number two. See, I will be there, but I will not hold weapons. Okay. Then Arjuna was very wise, ardent disciple. He said, okay, fine, I don't mind. I want Krishna to be on my side. Okay. That was Arjuna's option. Fine. Next, Duryodhana was so happy in his mind. Do you know why? He expected only army, not Krishna. And that too he has put the condition. What was the condition? I will be there, but I will not participate in the war and I will not hold weapon. What is the use of Krishna without weapon? A single boy, single man, what he can do? Instead of that, better to have the whole army. Okay. So Duryodhana was also happy. Arjuna was also very happy. Now what happened? We know, isn't it? So Arjuna had directed him. So guidance is very important. It is not about, for example, if we take the example of our own armed forces, army, navy or air force, it is not just about having all the AK-47 and all. How much passionate you are. Are you aligned with the country? Are you committed to the country? That is more important than what instruments you are having. You may be having all sophisticated instruments which may lead to destruction of the whole universe. But what are you doing with that? So that education should help us, and that true education is possible only when we go through such texts which are unbiased. Sometimes superficially you may see bias, but you have to ask questions. You have to do research. Then only you will get to know how they were. That's why it is a manual for our whole life. I hope I answered your question. Okay. Yes.
Kurukshetre, Krishna asked a lot of questions. Arjuna asked a lot of questions, and Krishna replied. Okay. Which one is applicable to the contemporary world? Whether it is Krishna's questions or Arjuna's questions or Krishna's answers?
So the question is whether Krishna's answers are applicable or Arjuna's questions are applicable. Suppose if we have questions, then it is applicable. If we do not have any question, neither Krishna nor Arjuna not required for us. As far as we are having doubts, as far as we are having dilemmas, okay, then we have questions and there are answers from Krishna. So that's why Krishna did not just say you fight or not. So he actually portrayed the entire life itself. It's something like painting on a canvas, entire life. It's something like internet. You can download anything from internet today. If you have access to the internet, you can download anything. But what is your interest area? What you want to download? It's something like a mall. You go to a mall, all the stores are available there. What you need? If you do not need anything, no need of going to a mall. Are you following this? So Bhagavad Gita is something like a big supermarket. If you want to learn from leadership qualities, you can learn. You want to learn from life lessons, you can learn. If you do not want to learn, that is also fine. Krishna will not say, okay, if you read Bhagavad Gita, then only you will get moksha. He did not say like that. Okay, so it is up to the person who is looking. Approach and attitude is very important. Yes, sir, please.
Human being point of view. I'm thinking in human being point of view, right? Does Arjuna certainly realize that he has done it or Krishna has done it? Thus, in the battlefield, thus the Arjuna has Arjuna did, or Arjuna போர்தொடுத்தாரா அல்லது கிருஷ்ணன் போர்தொடுத்தாரா? Or just in a human being point of view I'm talking about, right? The next is, and we always interpret to the best of our knowledge, but we are not to the best of Lord Krishna knowledge, right? Therefore, there is always a conflict between us, the way we think and the way we interpret with Bhagavad Gita, right?
Fine. What is the first question? Okay, okay, fine. See, let's say, I will reframe this question. It was Arjuna who participated in the war and moved everything, or it was Krishna who did the war, right? In fact, I need to explain few more things to elaborate the answer, because it's not a yes or no answer. Okay, point number one. See, when Arjuna had many questions like this, in fact, initially, Arjuna thought Krishna, first level, as a relative, second level, as his friend, third level, as his well-wisher. These are the ideas which initially the Arjuna had till the Mahabharata war. Point number two. Then he accepted and realized that he is far better than him. How? In terms of knowledge and experience. Okay. So then he accepted Krishna as his guru. Point number two. Then later on, when series of explanations were given by Krishna in the various chapters, at one point of time he had a doubt. So 11th chapter, it is called as Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, where he reveals his true identity. Okay. And looking at the Vishwarupa Darshana, Arjuna got nervous and he said, "Oh God, please come back to your original form. I am unable to bear this." It is as simple as this. Let's say, when electricity flows through our body, anything happens to us? Something happens to us? We'll get a shock. Suppose a lightning is also a form of electricity. Suppose if it falls on us, what will happen? We'll be burned into ashes. Are you following? So, whether we are having the capacity to digest what is being given to us. This is one way of looking at that. Okay. Now so Krishna says, see, what was his, there were a series of questions. Okay. So how can I kill my own relatives and friends? How can I kill my own teachers? How can I kill my own friends? Logic is correct, right? Okay. Next point. So he says, see, whom you are referring to as a teachers or relatives or friends or foes, you are looking from only physical point of view. You are not looking from spiritual or higher level point of view. You are fixed to only one. It's something like if you are using mobile, a high-end mobile only for talking purpose, is that the purpose of that mobile? You have confined to only that level. That is your understanding. There are so many options in that. You are not utilizing it. Similarly, when it came to Arjuna, he was looking at different perspectives. Then at last in Vishwarupa Darshan Yoga, he came to know that he is something much more than what he expected to be. This realization happened only in the later stage. Okay, but he also said, you cannot see this with your naked eyes. And there are other arguments also, I will not going into it. I am analyzing from psychological point of view, that's it. Okay, so then he says, you are doing, but I am making it to do. Okay, for example, when you say that I am doing, who is doing? Body is doing or mind is doing? Or your thoughts are doing? There are a series of questions which we need to ask. Okay, so as far as Arjuna and Krishna is concerned, there are different levels of understanding this. Okay, what was the second question? Human being, yes. See, yeah, that's why the moment we interpret anything, we are coming to the next level. When we are experiencing it is a different level. I will give a simple example. Okay, imagine that as students are here, I am just giving as an example. Please take it as an example to understand the concept. Don't hang on yourself to the examples. Okay, imagine a book or some gift is given to you by the teacher. Okay, how will you look at that gift? And someone whom you love very much has given a gift to you, same item. As far as the price is concerned, it is same. Okay, maybe this is 100 rupees, that is also 100 rupees. But the value you attach to the X gift and Y gift is different. Depending on what? Depending upon what value or what is there in your mind towards that gift. Are you following? Suppose if you give that gift to a kid, a small kid, what it will do? It will tear. So even you give your PhD certificate to kid, what it will do? Tear. Why? It doesn't have any attachment towards that. It is only an object. So now tell me whether it is valuable or not. Okay, it may not be valuable for the kid. It is not attached to that, but what about you? If you are seeing your certificate torn in front of you, you become so furious, you forget that that is a kid and you may slap. That is your response to that situation. So we cannot just portray in black and white that this is right and this is wrong. And that's what the whole Mahabharata explains. The word dharma, which is lot of misinterpreted today, it's a word with a very wide and deep foundation, which is the very core of life. And what is happening today, dharma and moksha, these two goals are forgotten totally, and we are focusing on only artha and kama, fulfilling all our desires, and most of the times illegitimate desires through illegal resources. Because of that only we are having so many problems in the society. Whatever we say, this is the core or the root cause for all the problems which we are facing today. That's why Gita will start with management of the self, and then it proceeds outwards. So it is introspective in nature. It is, we have to observe. Learning Bhagavad Gita is like conducting experiments on ourselves. Why? Because we need to conduct the experiments to improve ourselves. We are working on gadgets, right? Every month or maybe every 15 days, we update our apps. Isn't it? We update our mobiles. There are students who will buy new mobile whenever they are launched. Why? New features. Okay. But are you doing something for development of yourself? Are you devoting the time? Is a big question mark. Because we feel that inner development is not necessary. We are always focused outside. That's why we always feel that we always offer, I want this laptop, I want that mobile. Okay, fine. That is only an instrument. That instrument, you should regulate it. But that is regulating us. Why? Because objects are given important, not the human being. So in Krishna here, he is not against any fulfillment of wishes. So there is a beautiful verse where he says, Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha. If the desires or wishes are not conflicting with the virtues, that is the desire. In that desire, I exist. He says that. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Most of you are active. I am very happy. At least you did not sleep. And I hope that these words at least few words you will pick up and at least ask your questions when there is a session. Okay, thank you very much for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. As we come to the close of today's enriching seminar, it is only fitting that we end with a note of gratitude. To do the honors, we invite a dynamic and academic and an anchor of institutional excellence, Dr. Shantala Lakshmi Ma'am, Dean of Student Affairs. Ma'am, welcome you to deliver the vote of thanks. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. First, I would like to thank the Almighty. Thank you, God, for your endless grace. Next, I would like to thank our CEO and Secretary, Dr. P. Krishna Kumar, for permitting us to do the session like this. Next, my sincere thanks to our principal, Dr. V. Vijay Kumar sir, for a good topic like this. And next, my thanks to the guest, Dr. Sripad H. Ghaligi. எது நடந்ததோ அது நன்றாகவே நடந்தது. எது நடக்கிறதோ அதுவும் நன்றாகவே நடக்கும். எது நடக்க இருக்கிறதோ அதுவும் நன்றாகவே நடக்கும். So with these 3 lines, you can get answer for all your problems. Am I right? With these 3 lines. Yeah. Thank you for explaining the Gita in various small terms, the whole Gita, the whole things. Thank you so much, sir, from my bottom of the heart. You can clap. I know you are all hungry. செவிக்கு உணவில்லாத பொழுது சிறிது வயிற்றுக்கு ஈயப்படும். Okay? After this session, we will give you a break for your food. Thank you for clapping. Next, I would like to thank all the heads of the department, deans, faculty members, and my dear students for sitting patiently and trying to listen. See, these kind of sessions, even you will not get it from your Google Kuladevam or your mobile phone. So get it and use it and flourish in your life. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
I thank you all so much for attending in this enriching seminar. I learned so much and I hope everyone here feels the same. I ask you all to post your feedback about this life-altering seminar. Thank you. Have a great day.
Please, students, please scan this picture and send the feedback too, please.